Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today, I'm going to try to make 2 cards using the Altenew Flutter Bloom stamp, die, and stencil set. Now, I'm not going to be using the die set today, so I'm just going to set that aside. But I want to show you that you can make 2 cards almost identical and have them be for different occasions. But I want to start out by showing you, I got my new magazine in the mail today from Creative Stamping. I haven't opened it yet, but look at these gorgeous little stamps that come with it. There's a pig in a blanket, another pig, that looks like a bear. Hard to say, it could even be a gopher or who knows. But look at the little bear on skis, or the pig on skis. I might try this. I'll look through this magazine tonight and then try and use these stamps in the card for tomorrow, which will be Holiday Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to make 2 cards. I'm going to do a sympathy card and just a generic card. I have chosen 2 colors of cards. For my sympathy card, I'm going to use this gray. And now this is the Stormy Sky from GinaK, but any gray will work. This measures 10 inches by 7 inches, score it at the 5-inch line, fold it and crease it with your bone folder. And then I did a duplicate one in brown. And this is GinaK's Chocolate Truffle, but any brown will work. And then I have 4 sheets. I need 2 per card of 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 white cardstock. It looks like I have an extra piece here, so I'll just set that aside. And then I cut a piece out. I used GinaK Master Layout 13 for this shaped die. But this piece measures 1.5 inches by 3 1/8 inches. And that's all I use that die for. So you don't need the die, but it gives it a nice beveled edge, which is why I like using that die. But you don't need the beveled edge. And then once I stamp my images, I'm going to cut them out using the Waffle Flower A7 master set. And this piece will measure 3.5 by 5.5 when I get it cut. So let me get started by stamping. And the first thing I'm going to do is just take one of these blank pieces of paper and I'm going to glue it to the inside of each of the cards. I didn't bring my glue down here. Because they are dark cards, I like to put a white blank piece on the inside just to give me something to write my sentiments on, or a little note. And I'll set that one aside and do the same. And then what will happen is, like for this one, I'm going to put this here. And then once this is die cut out and stamped. All right. So I'm going to set the silver pieces aside and the gold pieces aside and set this over here so I know where it's at. Because now I need to stamp. And I want to use this image. And this is the Altenew Flutter Bloom. And I haven't opened this one yet. I was just thinking, I believe I want to put another piece of white on top of each card to give it a brown layer. Then that, yes, okay, so you'll need 6 pieces of the white 4 3/4. All right, so that's what I want to do. So I can glue this one down too, because I'm not going to do anything special with it. It's just going to be a background. Now you could ink splatter this, stencil the back, but I want the stamped area to be the focal point. Okay, set those aside. And that's the stamp I want. And I'm going to stamp twice because I want the image on one piece. And then before I die cut it out, I want to put the words on here. And I kind of want this to be angled a little bit. And that's going to be a little difficult with a stencil. Trying to figure out which end is up. I'm going to condition this since I've not used this stamp. Conditioning just means running your finger across it. Let me move some of this stuff off of here so that I can get this over. Put my lid back on. In the camera range so that you can see it. Just rubbing my finger across. That gets off the factory coating that comes on new stamps. Now I'm going to use VersaFine Clear Nocturne. You can use any black ink because I'm not using alcohol inks on this. Any ink would be fine. It just happens to be the one I keep on my desk at all times. It's one of my favorite blacks. That looks good. So I'm just going to set this one aside and put the other one in the same place. So what I'm going to do is color these images first with the stencils, and then I will come back and stamp the sentiment. That's perfect just for the one time. I did find my tidy towel. Oh, I need to do that a little bit up there. Good thing I hadn't removed it yet. And a little over there. So I missed some spots. Okay, and that's just a... All right, now I'll clean it off with my tidy towel. I'll just set my stamping platform down where I can find it. Put this back on. All right, time to figure out these stencils. It's a whole stack of stencils. There's a small portion, which I think is for this smaller stamp, and then the larger one, which I think is for the larger stamp. And this is, that small stamp has a bee on it. Oh, and these are hard to tell what these are. Okay, that's A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5. So let me see if there's an A on here. Okay. Okay, this is, well, I guess that's that, A. I hope there's stencils for this other one. Otherwise, I'll be hand coloring and we will only get one done today. Let's see, this is, oh, here we go. B6, B3, B2, B1. All right, B1. They're a little hard to see. So I'm going to take my Sharpie. This is B1. It's over here, but stamp companies, please know we're all not young with young eyes, so it's very hard to see when you make them the same color. That says D's. Looks like that one's the only one for B. Oh no, B6. This is, oh, I might as well do this one while I'm here. A6. Well, this is definitely interesting. B4. So this one I definitely don't want to clean with alcohol. That's definitely a butterfly. Now I can't clean it with alcohol and just avoid the numbers, but I can renumber it too. Just as long as I can get it at an angle where I can see what the numbers are. I guess those are A's. So I was wrong about the large ones being for the large one. Okay. Now I have my waffle flower grip mat here, and yes, it is not pretty. It's stained, but it works perfectly well. All right, now to line these up. B1. What does B1 color? Aha. That wasn't so bad. Now, for the sympathy card, I want to do everything in gray. And I've done gray sympathy cards before. I'm going to go with, let's see, let's get a scrap piece of paper here. Can't remember which is the lighter gray. GinaK is pretty light, but so is this hickory smoke. I got my finger right on it, so I better clean that off. The GinaK. All right, so I'm going to go with the soft stone. Really get that brush inked up. And just do a very light coating. Just light enough that you can tell that the gray is there. Yeah, just like that. So B2. Now these ones I'm going to go a little heavier, so I'm going to press just slightly harder. Not a whole lot hard. And this one I didn't get on quite right. There. So I'm slightly flattening the bristles. Not a whole lot. I'd say about 1/4 of an inch, if that. See how that looks with the two colors. Good. See how I don't know if you can tell, I have the darker and the lighter. Okay, B3. Now I'm going to do in the middle. Some light, some dark. B3. Okay, B4. Before I start, all right, I'm going to take another gray, and I want this to be a darker. I don't think I want the hickory smoke, but let's see. That's a little too dark. Let's try Moonlit Fog. Or maybe I do want the hickory smoke. Yeah, we'll go with the hickory smoke. Just lightly. Hit and miss, leaving some spots uncolored. and then B5. This one's a little different to line up, because if you get it lined up here, then it's not lined up down there. And I'm going to go a little darker with this one. And I'm trying to avoid going off the edge. I should have put some acetate down. Then again, I'm still not covering the whole leaf. I want some of it to be white. All right, B5, and where's B6? Well, that'll be the center of the flowers. Okay, I think I will take, see, I've used soft stone and hickory smoke. Let's do some of the Moonlit Fog in the center, only I want to use a little brush. Just give it a light coating. I actually have to get it in the whole log. Let's see. All right. So that one is colored in. Now I'm just going to pull this up and clean off the gray ink from these stencil mats. Set them aside. And then bring in the next stamp image. Squeaky clean. And start the process again. B1. But I'm not using the grays this time. I'm going to use yellows. Move aside the grays I did not use. I'm going to try, let's see. Get my yellow brush. Maybe if I do sweet corn, prickly pear, and honey mustard. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay, yeah. Sweet corn, just lightly. But on this one, I'm going to do the leaves in, might be the honey mustard for the leaves, because that's kind of a brown color. That's just a light coating. Oh, that's pretty. Now B2. Go a smidge heavier. Oh, that's going to be pretty. B3. If I can remember where these go. Let's move that. Should remember I just did this, huh? Now I am going to go halfway in between. All right. Let's B3. I'm going to skip right to B6 since I know that's the center of the flowers, and get that part done with, and then I'll do the greenery. And I'm going to do, let's try prickly pear. So these yellows I have not used. That looks nice. Okay, now let's see what honey mustard looks like. I'm just going to put this on my scrap paper. Cover up. This is prickly pear because I did bring some browns over. I want to see what this honey mustard looks like. Ooh, I like that golden color. So I think I will use brown. I'm going to use warm cocoa and honey mustard for the leaves. All right, so I've used sweet corn, prickly pear. These ones I did not use. I like to keep them separate because when I come back to make up my list that I put below the video of what products I've used, that way I've got it accurate. Did these any before. Okay, now I'm just going to go light, and I'm going to use, on these leaves, I'm going to use the honey mustard. And again, I'm going to leave some of them uncolored, or parts of them, not some of the leaves. I'm just going to leave them partly colored, if that makes sense. That looks nice. Okay. I was a little apprehensive about that. But you never know if something's going to look right till you try it. I mean, it's just paper and ink. Have fun and experiment. That's what I say. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Now I'm going to go with the warm cocoa. So I'm going to get my brown brush. Yeah. Okay. Now these I'm going to do dark, but yet leaving spots uncolored to give some like shadowing highlights. Oh, that looks nice, if I say so myself. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside and I'll clean up these stencils real quick. Okay, I love these stencils, but please, stencil makers, take note that we all can't see those little numbers that you so kindly put on them. If you hadn't put them on, it would have been a big guess as to what went where, but if you could somehow put them in a contrasting color, I know that would be really expensive. So just ignore my request, but it would be nice. Okay, now I'm just going to clean this off. Move my grip mat off and my scrap paper. We're 23 minutes in already. Shouldn't take much longer. I'll put my blending brushes away. Now I want to figure out my sentiment, placement, and that cut. So when I go to cut this out, I can choose to leave room maybe down here for the sentiment, or I could move it up and have the sentiment up here. So let me see what sentiment I want to use. Always in my thoughts. I think always in my thoughts. So where will that look good at? Right down here, I believe. So I am going to cut this. Always in my thoughts. Yes. So this could be a sympathy card, but you could also use it for maybe just someone who's having a rough time lately. And they're always in your thoughts. Okay. And the same for this one. Oh, I do love those colors. I kind of want more colors showing, but let me see what sentiment I want to put in this one. Thanks for simply being you. Be the story you'd love to tell. Love you always. Love you always. Now see, you could have used this, everything will be okay. Be brave, do good, stay you. That requires more of the stamp being gone, or the design being gone. So, since this is a fall color, I think I want to do this thanks for simply being you. But where do I want to put it? I think down here, the same as the other one. And I'm going to go a little over. Okay. Get my top plate. We'll run that through. And because I use the fall colors, let me get my acorn. Get my acorn for this. Okay. All right. Well, let me get these stamped. I'm going to put them both in here, but I'm only going to stamp one at a time. Always in my thoughts. Well, got to make sure you turn it the right direction. And thanks for simply being you. Oh, that'll fit nicely right there. All right. Now I need to condition these stamps. Just running my finger across them. Now I'm going to do this one in, I'm going to do it in black. First Fine Clair Nocturne. One more. Perfect. So I'm going to slide that out. I'll leave the stamp in there, but I'll clean it off. And this one I want to do in the acorn. That was perfect the first time. All right. Clean that off. Pull that out. And I'll take the stamps off, or otherwise I'll forget them, and later on I'll go, which set do those stamps go with? I still have to organize these into the little folders that I put them in. Oh, that one was up here. All right, now I'm going to put these cards together. Now this, I'm going to glue the gold down flat, but I'm going to pop up that center panel. And the same with the silver. I chose silver because I didn't have a big enough piece of gray in my scrap bin. So I thought silver would go nicely with this. And then I can use silver rhinestone accents. Now I'm just going to, this one wants to stay up, so I'm going to put a block on there. Got a little ink here. Let's get that on. All right, now I'm going to use, I'll use my 1/2 inch foam tape. It's a low loft. It's about 1/8 of an inch in height. And scissors. And I'm just going to put 3 pieces on here. And I'll also do the same for this piece. Okay, get the correct one. I do like how the colors of this one turned out. In my mind, I never would have dreamed of those colors. All right, so that's going to go like that. This one, oh, that's why that one wanted to pop up. I cut 2 at once. I can use that for another card. And put that like that. Now for a little embellishing. Of course, I got to have Winkostella. So I'm going to take the flowers. And I'm just using the clear Winkostella. Just to give the flowers a hint of shine. And same for the sympathy card. Just because it's a sympathy card doesn't mean it has to be bland. I know when my husband passed, I liked the more non-traditional sympathy that had a little bit of something that caught my eye and said, oh, isn't that beautiful? Okay. I'm also going to do it in the center. Now, for bling. For this one, I was thinking gold, but this is the wrong color gold. I'm going to see if I have a brown ink that will get me a gold color here. Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm using my Ohuhu art marker. This is E763 Potato Brown. I colored 3, 4. Well, color 7. Won't need to use all 7. And I'm going to put in the center of the flower. Just to add a little something, something. And I'll also do silver ones in this one. I'm still looking for a good quality pair of angled tweezers. I have reverse tweezers. I just want angled tweezers for like picking up these rhinestones. Now, I need a little bit more on here. Okay, thinking up here. Do I want that one there? And then maybe one down here. That's an even number, but have you noticed on these stick-on rhinestones, they have that glue strip that sticks to them, and sometimes they stick out the edge of the rhinestone, and it doesn't look very pretty. So try to get that off there if I can. Or if I can't, I'll tuck it under. Okay, that is card number 1. And I'll do the same placement on here. This is just showing you that you can take the same everything except for colors and your sentiment, of course. All right. And I've got a little ink smudge right on, not an ink smudge, but a fingerprint on my silver. So I'm just going to wipe that down a little bit. And that is card number 2. Let me get that. I really love the colors of those flowers. And that's how that one looks. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow I will make something out of those new stamps that I got in the magazine today. So tomorrow will be a Christmas day. And I do need to get some Halloween cards thrown in there. So I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. But thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.